नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। संदेश तो इधर ही। Oh, okay. Huh? Oh, you can record. You want to record? That's why you're there. Okay. Oh, it's on YouTube. Hare Krishna. All regulars. No new. So. um, So we're supposed to start from 24th verse. Is Gita Subodhi? Yeah. Let me see if I have here. Oh, I have two types of Bhagavad only. No, you had sent me, right?
I have sent you.
On which one?
I think
On airdrop?
airdrop, yes.
To
I
me.
just used it.
I think it'll be in files, right? Files recent.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Am I sharing the screen? Yeah, I am. So let's just see. There's one problem. It's like, what is this? 1925 description of color. Oh, this 11th chapter. This is Machitta Madhura Prat 10th chapter. Then 6th chapter, so maybe here. Ashaddhana Purusha. 9th chapter. Karya Yoga Yukta. 5th chapter. Okay. Okay. This is 6th chapter. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we are doing the 6th chapter called as Dhyana Yoga. Dhyana Yoga is also called as Ashtanga Yoga. Now we are all sitting and hearing Gita. I asked one student, what is your purpose of hearing Gita? He said, as there's so much of stress going on in my head, so if I just sit in Gita class, whether I understand or not, something or the other will help. Though I appreciate that reasoning, I'd rather prefer people trying to use intelligence to understand what we are speaking. Only then Gita will make sense. So in 6th chapter we are doing Dhyana Yoga. Krishna is explaining the path of connecting to Krishna, the path of yoga through the 8-limbed process, which is called as Ashtanga. So we have discussed about 2 stages, Aruruksha and Arudha. Aruruksha means practicing stage, beginning stage. Arudha is the perfection stage. Then we have also done the stages of Ashtanga Yoga practice. See, practicing stage and then perfection stage, and how to attain perfection in the perfection stage. So what did Shri Gopal Prabhu cover last time?
24.
One verse he covered? Yeah. Okay. I asked him to cover set of verses. So we have to do this. Now what we are doing, Krishna explains in the stages of Ashtanga Yoga from 10 to 32. Krishna explains from 10 to 17, he talks about practicing stage of Ashtanga Yoga, the practices, and what is the goal of Ashtanga Yoga. From 18 to 23, he explains what are the symptoms of one who has attained perfection in Ashtanga Yoga. Now 24 to 32, Krishna is going to explain how to attain perfection in Ashtanga Yoga. So what are the three sections? Let's see. What are the three sections? Talk about reducing attention span. Yeah.
The first was practicing.
Okay. Actually, I can make out because the faces are very blank.
Two of them were what and how. Like
Okay.
what is the Ashtanga Yoga and how to attain it. The third one is
That's only the first one. First and third. Yeah. Anyone?
the perfection.
Okay. Second one is the characteristics of perfection stage of Ashtanga Yoga, Aruda stage. Thank you. था क्या इधर स्क्रीन पे नहीं was just now I repeated twice and third time I'm asking. See, so therefore when we are maybe the sixth chapter is too much to understand. So Krishna is let me make this size. Okay. So 16 to 7, 10 to 17, Krishna is talking about practice stage of Ashtanga Yoga. That means one who has not attained perfection, what all things he should do, and what is the goal he is aspiring for in Ashtanga Yoga. And second, he talks about perfection stage, that is from verses 18 to 23. Perfectional stage of Ashtanga Yoga. That means once you attain perfection, what happens? And the third one is how to go from practice stage to perfection stage. Yes? Sure? No? Okay, what did you understand, Prabhu? But title, I'm just repeating the title.
No, but second stage we have already like reached perfection.
No, this is not stage, this is section. Section of the Gita, how Krishna is explaining. 10 to 17, he talks about practice stage. Then he talks about perfection stage. And the third component, verses 24 to 32, Krishna explains how to go from practice to perfection. Okay? Sure? The backbenchers? No one is saying how over there. Okay. And the goal of what is the goal of attaining goal of Ashtanga Yoga?
Realization of super soul.
Very good. Smart. You found out from the third section written there. Yes. My question papers are very simple. From the screen. Oh my God, it went down. Okay. I'm not going to ask you the two types of samadhi. Okay. Anyway, that's just a note. You don't have to worry about it. For those of you who are interested, you can know. Asampragnata samadhi and sampragnata. Sampragnata samadhi means it involves meditation on various gross and subtle objects. One comes to transcendental position by various philosophical research. Asampragnata samadhi, it involves meditation with no object. Definition is simple, terminology is complicated. Okay, so now we are doing text 24. Prabhu covered, right, last time. Okay. Haribo, we started on time. Okay, text 24. 24 25. Methods to attain Yoga Rudha. What does Yoga Rudha mean? Be confident.
Yes, who has attained perfection in
Very
Ashtanga
good.
Yoga.
Thank you. So how do you attain? So now you will see one common factor. What is Krishna recommending? If you want to attain perfection, if you want to have a conversation with the super soul, perceive super soul in your heart, Krishna is giving you methods how to do it. So now next 24 to 32 is how many verses? 9? 9 verses. So let's just go to 24 and then go to 25. 24th verse. Sanishchayena yoktavyo yogo nirvinna chetasa sankalpa prabhavan kamams tyaktva sarvana sheshatah manasaivendriya gramam vinivayam ya samantatah.
One should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination and faith and not be deviated from the path. One should abandon without exception all material desires born of mental speculation and thus control all the senses on all sides by the mind.
Yeah, very, very profound statement. Can you just bring out any important points that you get just by reading this translation? Anything of importance that you could catch? Very vital. I mean, just on this verse we can speak. Yes, Prabhu.
I think for me, all material desires born out of mental speculation.
What should you do with them?
Ignore.
Abandon.
Abandon. I think it's also because usually the material desires in scriptures can be fulfilled by can fulfill your basic necessities. So mental speculation leads you towards greed,
Very
which
good.
is means more and more
Yeah.
expectation out of yourself, which might not be fulfilled. So you might just continue on the path of material life.
Very good. Thank you. Yeah. So one point is one should abandon. So if you want to take up this process of Ashtanga Yoga, one has to. What should they do with material desires? Say it. We don't want to say it. Abandon without exception. Not few of them I will keep aside, the rest I will abandon. All material desires have to be abandoned because they're all born of. What does mental speculation mean? What do you mean born of mental speculation?
Like, by mental speculation, you can think of like infinite number of things, right? Like I want this, I want that. So it's like kind of like never ending material desires. Like right now, you might be thinking about, okay, I just want a new iPhone, for example. Like my phone is getting old. But then once you get a new iPhone, then you're like, you know what? I think I need a new jacket. I need this. So like mental speculation is that when your mind.
So you are saying even the desire to have a proper jacket should be abandoned?
Not a proper jacket, but it depends. Like like if you have a proper jacket, but now you just want to get 10 different jackets.
Okay.
Just for that.
So what do you mean mental speculation?
For me, mental speculation is that you just keep on thinking about like infinite number of things, right? I want this, that. Like that is just kind of
Okay.
speculating.
Thinking. Okay. Anyone else?
Doubting.
Yeah. Sorry.
Doubting on the truth and
Doubting. Okay.
Yeah.
Doubting. I'm just taking the keywords. Thinking, doubting. Yeah, you have raised your hand.
So one hopes that so and so material fulfillment might 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 yield something, like in terms of happiness or in
Right.
terms of,
Right.
but that's just a guesswork that this could happen,
Okay.
but eventually it does not happen because it has a beginning and an end. So everything that
So
has
you
a
are saying in terms of assumption or guesswork, hoping that something it will yield something.
Something would make me happy.
Okay, yeah,
But
something will make me
it's
happy.
like Mrik Trishna.
Yeah, Mega Krishna. Good. Sanskrit bol rahe ho aap?
So I think mental speculation means acting on the level of mind.
Very good.
Like-
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Mental speculation means, it has to be very clear. Mental speculation means it is born of the mind. So in our personality, there are three selves to our personality. There is the gross body, which we generally consider as us. There is also the subtle body, which is the mind, intelligence, ego. And then there is a soul, which is truly us. Isn't it? Now, to be able to interact in society in this world, we need to maintain the upkeep of this material body. And we also need to keep the mind peaceful. Because Krishna says in second chapter, Ashantasya kuta sukham. Without peace, where is happiness? So if your mind is always agitated, there cannot be any happiness. So subtle body also has to be kept peaceful. To personality. But soul is the true self, is the master of all the other selves. So now, when it is said material desires born of the mind, what do you understand by that? Is it the desire of the soul?
No.
It is desire from where? From the mind. And therefore, death means giving up of gross body, and liberation means giving up subtle body. So, if we cannot even keep aside material desires, especially those which are straightforward, harmful, obstacle for our progress in spiritual life, if we cannot even keep those material desires aside, what talk about liberation? Because liberation means giving up a subtle body, giving up of that mind. If we are not able to even give up the desires born of the mind, how can you give up the mind? Am I making sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So therefore, Krishna is saying, on this path, if you want to be successful, you have to practice, first of all, abandoning material desires. Now, what is material desire? Is any desire material desire?
Sense gratification.
Okay. Straightforward, clear cut. Haribo. Okay. Straightforward, clear cut definition is working for one's own selfish purpose, sense gratification. Why is it echoing? Okay. Yeah. Thank you. One is working for sense gratification. Anything to do with sense gratification. Okay, little more. What do you consider as material desire?
That originates by mind getting in touch with the three modes of material nature, right? Rajas, tamas, and sattva.
Okay. Okay. So you are saying the difference between the modes and born of the mind.
The interaction.
Okay. Thank you.
Any desire that is not for pleasing Krishna.
Haribo, that is answer. Any desire which is not meant to please God is called material desire. What is that verse in Chaitanya Chaitamrit? Krishnendriya Priti Vancha. Atmendriya Priti Vancha Taribalikam. Krishnendriya Priti Icha Dhare Premanam. So the only difference between lust and love is that what is the desire? If the desire to with whatever we are doing is to please Krishna, it is called as love, true love. And the desire with whatever we are doing, the hidden, the underlying desire is to actually serve my senses. It is love, lust. Okay, just checking. That is called as karma. So, I mean, we don't want to be too strong on this point. I mean, we have to be strong, but I don't want to too much hit the ego. But at the same time, it's very important to understand. Sometimes we want to work for. Sometimes we want to work for ourselves. That is straightforward selfishness, which is not wrong. Basic maintenance is understood, but overboard I'm talking about. But beyond that, we worry about my family. That is also selfishness. I'm not saying you should not do it, but that is also considered to be selfish. My village, my state, isn't it? So you are from which state? I'm from Karnataka. You know, there's a clash. But if everyone is American, you are from which country? I'm also from India. Very good, isn't it? So the thing is, even as per the ego, for example, a poet in Tamil, he had sung in Tamil Nadu. There was a Tamil poetry. He said whenever he hears going into his ears, and similar poetry was there in Marathi. In Marathi, another poet has sung, whenever I hear the language of Marathi, something spoken in Marathi language, I feel like nectar flowing in my ears. Isn't it? How many of you feel nectar flowing in your ears when you hear Marathi? No? Prabhu has transcended bodily conception of life. So you feel nectar flowing in your ears when you hear Rajasthani? आपको लगता है nectar flowing in your ear when you hear Rajasthani? No. See? So this is bodily conception of life. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, there is a verse. It says, Yasyatma, what is it? Yasyatma? Kunbeti dhatu ki. Yasya atma buddhi kunapeti dhatuke. Salile Krishna Chitta. So this is what happens when you don't memorize it frequently. I'll bring it out. Your phone. Di kunapeti dhatuke. Sadi kalitra. That has to be decided. Yasyatma. Yasatma buddhi. Got it?
Yeah. 10, 84, 13.
Oh, I got it. Thank you. Yeah. See, this says Yasya buddhi kunapeti dhatuke swadhi kalatra dishubhamya idhi yati buddhi salilena kahit janesha bhinesha saeva ghokara. So in this 14th canto, 10th canto, 84th chapter, 13th verse. Now you can hear what is this saying. One who identifies his self as the inert body composed of mucus, bile and air, that means kapha, pitta, vata, who assumes his wife and family are permanently his own, who thinks an earthen image or the land of his birth is worshipable, or who sees a place of pilgrimage as merely the water there, but who never identifies himself with that place of pilgrimage, feels kinship with, worships, or even visits those who are wise in spiritual truth. Such a person is no better than a cow or an ass. That means Yasyatma buddhi kunapeti dhatuke means one who considers this body to be all in all. And for such a person, he considers my wife is most beautiful, isn't it? He feels my children are the sweetest, and he feels my land is worshipable. The river that goes through my land is most auspicious. My Kula Devata is the topmost, supreme personality of Godhead. Isn't it? So such people are called as to be as dull as a cow or an ass, it is said. Then ass means donkey. So you see, therefore, when we talk about lust, kama, gross lust we all know, sex desire, but it has deeper levels to it. What we identify with, when we identify with the body, we first serve the body, then we serve people connected with this body, then we serve the place of birth, then we serve the people in that place of birth, then we serve the state people, then we serve the country people. Bharat Mata ki jai. Pakistan ki dikkara, isn't it? Huh? Murdabad is the word. Murdabad. Hare Krishna. What does Murdabad mean?
Opposite of Zindabad.
Oh, is it? Okay. Don't make me speak Gali. Isn't it? This is, just imagine today you're raising the Indian flag on Independence Day, and next life you're born in Pakistan. Then you will be raising the Pakistan flag. So when you look at it from that point of view, it seems like a joke that people just fight. Srila Prabhupada says when the Pakistan-India border that was being created, when the split happened, then there was a huge fight that ensued, and many people were killed on both the sides. They were saying Hindu-Muslim. That was the main differentiation, Hindu-Muslim. And Prabhupada says that when both side people were killed, then a truck came, put all the bodies together, put on the truck. That time there was no Hindu-Muslim in the dead bodies. Isn't it? When they were fighting, they're saying, I am Hindu, you are Muslim, or you are Muslim. You are Hindu, I am Muslim. But after death, who is Muslim? Who is Hindu? Same truck came, piled all the dead bodies and took them away. So you see, therefore, when we talk about karma only makes a fool out of us. Isn't it? So therefore, two words are used. Sense gratification is one. Second is called as extended sense gratification. Extended sense gratification means that which is not direct sense gratification. That means serving anyone connected to this body is extended sense gratification. Like the father will say, I love you, my son. But will he say the same thing to neighbor's son? No. There is no such love. Why? He is also a small child. but he feels more natural love towards his own son because connected to the body, and I identify with my body. Does it make sense? So therefore, kama means not just sense gratification, it also means extended sense gratification. So material desires means anything which is not connected with Krishna and it is going towards self, or people connected to the self, or land connected to self, river connected to self, anything that is connected to self, that becomes extended sense gratification. Is that clear? So if one wants to make progress on this path of yoga, Krishna says that one has to put aside, abandon these desires, because they are all born of the mind. And what else? What else Krishna expects from this verse? You can make out.
So when mind is deprived of such mental speculation, or like it's deprived of the lust, then it can control the senses.
Sense control becomes very easy. Yeah, because mind is peaceful. Very good. Okay, sense control becomes easy then. Yeah. Then what else can you pick out from this purport? How to practice yoga? With determination and faith. Let's see what is Sanskrit used. Nishchayena means with firm determination. And anirvinna chetasa. Anirvinna chetasa means undeviated focus. Not that I chanted one round today, tomorrow break, then day after tomorrow some chanting, then day after that break. Once a week I attend temple, then next day break. Too many breaks, isn't it? It's like you are trying to make rabdi out of milk, but as soon as forming rabdi, you're turning off the gas. Then again it's gone. Again you're cooking the milk. Again, as the heat picks up and is going to become rabdi, you turn off the gas. How much time is it going to take? Forever, isn't it? Better you turn on the gas, make it one shot. So therefore, anirvinna chetasa means without any deviation. You raised your hand. You want to see?
Do you mind just going back to
Oh yeah.
translation?
Translate.
Yeah. When it says practicing yoga with determination and faith,
Yeah.
it's assuming that all of us will have the determination and faith, and then you start practicing. But shouldn't it go hand in hand? What I mean by that is, as you practice, your determination becomes even more stronger and deeper.
Yeah.
And so as the faith. So I'm getting confused when it says that you should engage yourself starting with determination. That perhaps in the beginning you don't have enough faith, or is it because at every level determination faith is very different? In the like, let's just try,
Right.
and then we see.
Yeah. So when Krishna says one has to engage in the path of yoga, in the practice of yoga with determination and faith, that means one has to cultivate them. Otherwise, the path of yoga. That means, for example, if you have to make a road trip, when not just you get a car, you have to make sure you have enough money to fill the car with fuel. If you don't have money, don't travel, isn't it? Because you have to fill the fuel also in between. So similarly, when you are embarking on this journey of yoga, on the path of yoga, then it's expected you should have determination, and you should have faith. If you don't have, then of course you have to cultivate them. So when Krishna says you need determination and faith, that means we have to start cultivating it. Otherwise, our path of our practice of yoga is not. It's like the rabdi, trying to make rabdi by turning off the flame. It takes forever. At the same time, you do the practice, but also side by side you have to cultivate determination.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So Krishna says three things. One is determination, which is called as nishchayena. Second, determination, faith. And second one is without deviating your attention, without deviating your focus. It's called anirvinna chetasa. And third, abandoning all material desires. And that is taktva sarvan asheshataha. Oh, sorry. Sankalpa prabhavan kamams taktva. Kamams taktva. Giving up desires. Sankalpa, speculation. Yeah. Then you can control your senses. Okay. This is required in practice of yoga. Next. I mean, we didn't discuss further the purport and everything because last time Prabhu has spoken a lot. शनै शनैर उपरमेद बुद्ध्याधिति गृहीतया आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किंचिदपि चिन्तयेत्. Who are you?
Gradually, step by step, one should become situated in trance by means of intelligence sustained by full conviction, and thus the mind should be fixed on the self alone and should think of nothing else.
Yeah. Not easy. This is step by step. Krishna is explaining method. So he says when you focus, your focus should only be on Krishna and nothing else should be there. Not easy, isn't it? He says by means of intelligence sustained by full conviction. So what is the obstacle to conviction? What becomes an obstacle to our conviction on the path of Krishna consciousness?
Consistency.
Not having enough faith.
Not having enough faith, then what? Not having enough faith gives result to what?
Doubts.
Yes, doubts. That means whatever slight doubt is there, we have to clarify. Then the intelligence becomes strong. So here what Krishna is saying, yes, you can fix your mind on Krishna without thinking of anything else only when you have full conviction. Having full conviction means you have to be very alert in removing every small doubt that appears in the mind. Sometimes it's hidden. Like someone else asks a question and you feel such a good question. Yeah, I'm interested to know what the answer is. It's because when we have that question, isn't it? For example, can God create a stone which he cannot lift? He cannot create a stone.
No, which he cannot live.
So he cannot create, no? So inability of God. You say God is all powerful. Yeah? He can. What he can? He can create a stone which he can lift. I mean, he cannot create a stone which he cannot lift. Inability, no? Inability of God. So you are saying your God is perfect. Therefore, people are suffering because God is incapable. You are seeing,
God can do anything.
except create a stone which he cannot lift.
I mean, he can do anything.
He can create a stone which he.
That is not possible.
That's not possible. No? That's what I'm saying. Inability of God. Question is flawed. But आगे smart, smarty.
Like if you want to prove that, he can prove it.
What do you mean?
Like if he needs to prove that, then he could do that. Like he just wants to show that this is a stone I created and he cannot lift. But in reality, he can. But just to show us, he can do that also.
How is it possible?
Like just to show us.
Just to show he cannot lift. No?
I mean, isn't that the same example that when Mother Yashoda was trying to tie him to the, I'm forgetting.
They put in water.
Yeah, so like, I mean, of course, he cannot be tied by anything, but out of love, he chose to. So,
Chose to be bound.
yeah.
Yeah.
Reaction
Here,
of his devotee.
here there's no devotee. Atheist is challenging.
Then
Then he can't. It's inability. Your God is incapable.
again, 10 questions.
Huh?
Again, 10 questions.
And yeah, whatever it is. You're able to understand? This is what actually such doubts are deeply implanted in our consciousness. So when we cross tragedy, those doubts come. I've seen even stable devotees, when they come across tragedy, they'll question, does Krishna really exist? I'm talking about devotees who are chanting 16 rounds for many years. Even they can question. What to talk about our faith? Our faith, हम अभी बोलेंगे हाँ, my God is great, He'll create, yes, and I have full faith in Him. Wait till a tragedy strikes. First thing to give up for anyone when tragedy comes is chanting Hare Krishna. They first give up coming to temple. They'll first give up devotee association. Because no faith nahi hai. So therefore, we have to develop that faith. We are therefore asking questions, of course, reasonable questions. Asking questions with a mood to understand the answer and grow deep in intelligence. So asking and clarifying doubts nourishes intelligence. So when Prabhupada was asked this question, you know how Prabhupada answered? Yes, God can create a stone which he cannot lift, and after that he can lift it. So of course the atheistic people think they're very smart. But Krishna is There, Shani. So, if we want to keep focus on Krishna as the only one point object of our focus, without thinking of anything else, that means we need to have conviction. Conviction is a symptom of intelligence. If intelligence is not strong enough, then we cannot take shelter of Krishna. It is not possible. Therefore, one has to find out what are the doubts that is um, hindering me from progressing in spiritual life. What are those doubts? I might as well surrender to Krishna today, but we say, no, I'm not yet ready. So, what are the doubts? Yes, Prabhu.
Are doubts also sign intelligence?
Yeah, they are, but not foolish doubts. Like one.
So then it's descriptional. So doubt in of itself is not the issue, it's a description of the doubt. Like you said, foolish doubts.
Foolish doubt, when I say foolish doubt, it means like one person asked Radhanath Swami, when Hiranyakashipu was performing Ghor Tapasya, there was heat being emanated from his body, which scorched the upper planetary systems. So, what was the mode of transfer of heat from Bhuloka to upper planetary system? Not those kind of doubts. The mode of transfer. Is it conduction or convection? Those are useless doubts. Isn't it? So, I'm not talking about those doubts. The doubts which help us with respect to developing faith in Krishna, those doubts. Yeah. And thus the mind should be fixed on the self alone and should think of nothing else. You will see as your doubts get cleared, and many of the doubts is not possible to clear by ourselves. Many of the doubts are removed by Krishna because Krishna is present in my heart, Sachin's heart, Bansal's heart. Whose heart? Everyone's heart as Paramatma. We all have our own Xerox of Krishna. And Krishna in the heart, he can supply knowledge. Krishna says, Matta Smriti Jnanam Apohanam Cha. I give knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. That means in a situation when you want to do something, now Krishna gives forgetfulness. Like I was trying to recite a shloka. Krishna gives forgetfulness. I cannot recite. Why does Krishna give forgetfulness? So then he's telling me, you have to memorize daily. You have become a little insincere. Or he gives remembrance. That means, for example, when King Bharat, he was attached to a deer and he died. And next life he was born as a deer. But Krishna gave him remembrance of past life, that you are a devotee. Immediately, that dear Bharat, he left his family of deers. He went to the Pula Ashrama and started eating dry grass. Started performing austerities. Started to listen to Vedic hymns being recited by the sages in that ashrama daily. And always he was crying hot tears of regret. Why did I not take Krishna consciousness seriously? Why is all this happening? Because Krishna gave him remembrance of past life. And Krishna will give us also remembrance. And Krishna will give us knowledge. For example, I told you, atheistic scientist will put such question. Krishna will give us knowledge, logic, reasoning, anything what we need. But we have to be sincere. Then Krishna will supply it. Okay, purport who's reading? Continue. Yeah.
By proper conviction and intelligence, one should gradually cease sense activities. This is called pratyahara.
Yeah. So how do you do self-restraint? How do you do self-restraint?
By ceasing sense activities.
That's self-restraint. How do you do it? By conviction intelligence. I'm asking straight from the sentence. What were we reading? Okay, continue.
The mind, being controlled by conviction, meditation, and cessation from the senses, should be situated in trance or samadhi. At that time, there is no longer any danger of becoming engaged in the material conception of life. In other words, although one is involved with matter as long as the material body exists, one should not think about sense gratification.
One should think or not think about? Yeah. Okay.
One should think of no pleasure aside from the pleasure of the Supreme Self. This state is easily attained by direct practice in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah. So what is Sri Prabhupada mentioning in the purport? Who can say one sentence? Small paragraph. What is Prabhupada trying to say in the purport?
We got to control our mind by proper conviction and intelligence. although our mind is in association with the matter for so long, but we have to like practice controlling it by intelligence.
Yeah, and by practice Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
So when we try to become devotees, Krishna Paramatma becomes very active because we are practicing bhakti yoga to Krishna. Krishna says, "Bhaktya mam abhijanati." I can only be known through bhakti. So when we practice Krishna consciousness, Krishna gives intelligence. The Jnanis, what Jnanis do, they try to read all the Upanishads, all the Shastras, all the Vedic knowledge, and then they go into the process of neti neti, na iti na iti. Oh, this, no, this will not give me happiness, this will not give me happiness, this will not give me happiness, America will not give me happiness, India will not give me happiness. Every object, neti neti. Upper planetary system will not give me happiness, lower planetary system will not give me happiness. But when you practice Krishna consciousness, there is neti neti. You just serve Krishna, Krishna gives you knowledge, how to get happy, how to become happy. Isn't it? Very simple process. So, Krishna Prabhupada is saying, you practice Krishna consciousness, then automatically self-restraint, conviction, intelligence, Krishna gives from the heart. Which is easy, we ourselves developing intelligence or Krishna giving intelligence? Yeah, Krishna giving intelligence. Then whatever word you speak will be the perfect word. Whatever sentence you speak will be the perfect sentence. Whatever you say will be perfect because Krishna is giving intelligence. However you act is perfect. That's how Sri Prabhupada was. Whatever he did, he became perfect. One of the early disciples of Prabhupada, he recollects in his memories of Sri Prabhupada, what caught his attention of Prabhupada. When Prabhupada was giving his Gita class in Matches Gift in 26 2nd Avenue, after the class, Prabhupada would give out fruits, piece of orange, a piece of an apple, as prasad, not rice, dal, sabji. Only a piece of fruit. Western preaching. This is Western preaching. And then he would take some orange, and when he would chew the orange and the seeds he would spit, there was a bin in one corner, and Prabhupada would chew the orange and he would spit, and the seeds would go right into the trash can. So this disciple was saying how elegantly Prabhupada pulled off that stunt with great like a masterpiece. And not just once. Every time Prabhupada got a seed, he would spit it, Hare Krishna. He would spit it and it would go to the trash can. Exact, not falling here and there. Multiple times it happened, and then he understood he must be pure devotee. You see? So when Paramatma is in charge, whatever you do is perfect. Like Krishna is sitting on, as a chariot on Arjuna's chariot, and Karna's wheel is stuck, and Krishna is telling Arjuna, shoot, and Arjuna tries to become smart. Krishna, I think he's unarmed right now. I think we should wait for him to. Krishna said, shoot, means shoot, and he shot, and that was perfect action, isn't it? Now if Arjuna says no, let him come back, then Krishna will keep quiet. Okay, I think you are smarter than me, so I'll keep quiet. You do on your own. Then he cannot defeat Karna. You see. So similarly, Krishna is also present as Paramatma in the heart. So Paramatma instructs. Paramatma is called as Chaitya Guru, the Guru in the heart. When we cannot perceive the internal Guru, then Guru comes externally, but they have connection. The internal Guru comes externally as the external Guru. So Paramatma, when you listen to Paramatma's guidance, whatever happens is perfect. May it be Arjuna's case or how Prabhupada's actions, Prabhupada's words, whatever he did, it was perfect. Like once Alfred Ford, the grandson of Henry Ford, founder of Ford Motors, came and disciples brought Alfred Ford right in front of Prabhupada. They said, he's Alfred Ford and he's very rich and this and that. And Prabhupada looked at him and he said, so for example, just imagine, some very famous, say, Sundar Pichai comes. What will you do? And Sundar Pichai is sitting here. Immediately you will say, do you want some prasadam first? Or do you want to go around the temple? Do you want a tour? We have, you can stay in the hotel nicely. We will sponsor it. We have some courtesy. But Prabhupada, they brought Alfred Ford in front of Prabhupada and he was sitting right in front. Prabhupada only asked, so where is Henry Ford? Done. That's all he spoke to Alfred Ford and he became a devotee. Now we give lecture after lecture And Prabhupada only had to speak one sentence. So, where is Henry Ford? Then it struck him, where is my grandfather? He's dead and gone. Ford Motors is here in my name. But my grandfather is gone. God knows where. That means in the future even I'll be gone. So therefore I have to take to Krishna consciousness. And he became devotee. His Grace Ambrish Prabhu. Now, you see? So when we are guided by Paramatma in the heart, whatever we do is perfect. Isn't it? So therefore, when we practice Krishna consciousness, Krishna takes control. Practice of Krishna consciousness means what Arjuna did. You're taking the reins of chariot of your life and you're giving it to Krishna. For that you need to have faith. Will you give it to your girlfriend? Control of your life? Huh? Sure? Many are not sure. Some people give it to their parents. Some people give it to their friends. Some people give it to their society. But we give it to Krishna. That's Krishna consciousness. Where we give the reins of our chariot to Krishna. Krishna, now you handle my life. Follow your direction. Karishye vachanam tava. I'm ready to do as you say. Then all intelligence is given. Okay, next verse. Yato yato nischalati मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरं ततस्ततो नियम्येतद् आत्मन्येव वशं नयेत्. Very important verse. Who's reading? Hare Krishna. You are Malhar? Okay, Hare Krishna. You want to read the verse?
Sure.
Translation?
This is the mic.
Yes.
Okay.
It is for the online.
From wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self.
Yeah. So what is Krishna saying? Yato yato nischalati manaschanchala astiram then tato tato niyamyaitad. Because the tendency of the mind is to be flickering. It is the nature is chanchalam, isn't it? Now the mind, wherever you put the mind has a tendency to go elsewhere. It's not that mind only goes to things which is considered sense gratification. No, even sometimes sense gratification mind cannot focus. Theater. Sometimes mind is worrying about exam. Say you're preparing for exam. Mind is worrying about party. Say you're going to party. Mind is worrying about laundry. Say you're doing laundry. Mind is worrying about homework. Sometimes about the future. Sometimes about the past. Tendency of the mind is to worry. Not to worry. Chanchal. Chanchal means flickering. The problem with the mind is what? You have seen some small children. You take the small child and put him on the seat. But he is like fidgeting. He cannot sit. He has to get up and walk around and run here, run, touch that, break this, break that. Isn't it? That's the nature of the small child. Why? Because they can under complete control of the mind. And not just them, all of us. We are all under the complete control of the mind. But Krishna says if you want to be successful on this path of yoga, as the mind wanders, you have to put endeavor to bring it back to thinking about Krishna. The mind will wander. So when you are chanting Hare Krishna, if you say that my mind is too much distracted, it's nothing surprising. That's the nature of the mind. Rather, if you say, Prabhu, my mind is not at all disturbing, that something is wrong. Mind has to be disturbing. The nature of the conditioned mind. So what Krishna says, because of its unsteady nature, again it will go. Again you have to put endeavor to bring it back. Again it will go. Again you have to put endeavor. Sometimes it will go and touch your soft spot. What is a soft spot? Some memories that is whatever you're attached to. And then you forget yourself. Then you go there. Isn't it? You should not do that. You bring the mind back. Mind generally goes to, say, someone insulted us, say in a public place. So it's a very sensitive thing. So mind will go there. Idle mind is devil's workshop. Mind goes there. So when the mind goes there, the tendency is, if we are not alert, we also go with the mind. Anyone who has experience of chanting Hare Krishna daily, you will find sometimes we become lost in our chain of thoughts when you're chanting. When you're chanting Hare Krishna and you're thinking, today I have to go to the bank. Yeah, why did I choose Capital One? I think Bank of America was better. you know? Yeah, but Bank of America, the rates are this. Yeah, rates, maths was such a nice subject. I should have stayed with I should have become a mathematician. There's no end. And someone will say, Prabhu, you're sleeping. You say, what? I'm not sleeping, I'm chanting. Isn't it? Yeah, because actually we have gone with the mind. Krishna says, don't go with the mind. As the mind goes away, you bring it back. As soon as you realize the mind is going to wander, you have to bring it back under the control of self. Okay, purport?
The nature of the mind is flickering and unsteady, but a self realized yogi has to control the mind. The mind should not control him. One who controls the mind and therefore the senses as well is called Goswami or Swami. And one who is controlled by the mind is called Godasa or the servant of the senses. A Goswami knows the standard of sense happiness. In transcendental sense happiness, the sense are engaged in the service of
Rishikesha.
Rikeshesha or the supreme owner of the senses. Krishna serving Krishna with purified senses is called Krishna consciousness. That is the way of bringing the senses under full control. What is more, that is the highest yoga practice.
Yeah. So what is Prabhupada saying? Here Prabhupada is saying the senses belong to Krishna. Like your hand belongs to whom? Sorry? Your hand belongs to Krishna? Belongs to? Technically belongs to you? Technically belongs to Krishna. We think it belongs to us. Therefore, Krishna is called as Rishika Isha, the controller, the master of the Krishna to us. Why should we not use this body for sense gratification? It's not ours. Some people say, what is there in this life? Better commit suicide. Committing suicide means someone has given you something, you're throwing it. Krishna has given you this human form of life, you're committing suicide and you're ruining it. This is an opportunity to perfect our life as human beings. But it becomes a lost opportunity, isn't it? Because people don't understand whose body this is. Krishna's body. Whose hand? Krishna's hand. Whose eyes? Krishna's eyes. Isn't it? So when we have borrowed this body from Krishna, just like when you're working in a company gives you a company car. But now you don't use that car to go to company, but you only hang out with friends. What does the company do? They take that car away. Similarly, if we do not use this human form of life to serve Krishna, to become Krishna conscious, then after we lose this human form of life, Krishna will not give us a human body. We'll get other forms of life, isn't it? Because Krishna will withdraw it. Because we are not using it as it is meant to be used. To realize Krishna, to serve Krishna, in service of Krishna. Is that understandable? Yeah. And you see here, this is a very important statement. Serving Krishna with what senses? Purified senses. More we serve Krishna, more the senses become very pure. More I use my hand to do what I want, not Krishna seva, more it becomes impure hand. Similarly with the mind or any other senses. But more I engage the senses in Krishna service, then the senses become pure. And if once the mind becomes pure, my pure mind doesn't wander. So if your mind is wandering, that means it is not pure. Because there are agitators. Was it agitator? Which is agitating the mind, which is making the mind unsteady. What is making the mind unsteady? There's underlying agitators of the mind. Desires are born of the agitators. Lust, anger, greed. Yeah, these lust, anger, greed are the rascals who are lying below and they're agitating, isn't it? Like sometimes if there's a creature in a pond, you can only see that water is disturbed because there's something inside. Similarly, these agitators are inside and they're creating a commotion inside. You can see the water is disturbed. Similarly, mind is also disturbed because of lust, anger, greed. Then lust is giving one desire, greed is giving another desire, anger is giving another desire, and desire after desire. How can the mind be peaceful? But we engage the mind in Krishna Seva. We focus on the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. We think about Krishna. We basically thinking, how do you make the mind pure? You give pure input to the senses. That means all senses will take the input to the mind. So pure input to the senses will give pure input to the mind. And when you give Krishna to the senses, Krishna will go into the mind. Once Krishna goes there, mind becomes pure. Mind becomes pure. Why? Because Krishna will defeat this agitators. The lust, anger, greed is destroyed. Once there are no agitators, then the mind, the waters, becomes peaceful. Similarly, the mind becomes peaceful. Then you chant Hare Krishna, you can go on chanting Hare Krishna. You look at Krishna, you can go on looking at Krishna. You serve Krishna, you can go on serving Krishna. There is no material competition. Not that I'm serving Krishna, but who else is serving better than me? You know, I'm cooking for Krishna, but who is appreciating my cooking? I'm speaking for Krishna, but who is clapping for me? I'm singing for Krishna, who is, you know. So sometimes with impure senses, when we serve Krishna, we have material expectations. I have done so much for Krishna. At least Krishna should give me this in return. I've been chanting for last 1 year. Where is love of God in my heart? Isn't it? You're demanding now. You have become the boss. Isn't it? Because just because you have been chanting for 1 year. No. More we are serving Krishna, more the senses become purified. We don't mind. We are not looking for any material expectation. We are not looking for any expectation from Krishna. We're just happy serving. Have you ever been happy serving? Anyone has that experience? You're happy just serving? Yeah, here, anyone? Really? You're not forced to raise your hand. Really, I'm just asking honestly. Okay, if you have had that experience, it's very nice. You're just happy serving means you want nothing out of it. Okay, how many of you had the experience not being happy while serving? That also happens many times, isn't it? What does that mean? When you're serving, there's no satisfaction, and sometimes we are looking here and there for some expectation. Haribol. No, we are happy you have come. Isn't it? You can come a little ahead so the people whoever comes, they can open the door. Like, you can come ahead, yeah. Yeah. So we're discussing about serving Krishna with purified senses. So more we engage the senses in the master's service, more senses become purified. And pure senses create no agitation. Pure senses can go on serving without any agitation, without any expectation. So I was asking the question, how many of us have not become happy while service, not satisfied? And that's when you will notice you are looking for some material competition. I have served for so many years, so I should be part of the board of the temple, board member, isn't it? I should become the next president, isn't it? Probably they should ask me to give the class next because I've been attending for last 3 years. Probably Rohit Prabhu. If he's not satisfied just serving, then Prabhu will be thinking, when will I speak Gita? Yeah. Expectation comes even in spiritual circle. Competition comes. And that is because there's no satisfaction. That is because in the name of spirituality, we are serving our senses. Isn't it? Mahaprasad, Krishna's mercy. Bas laga lete. If you eat 10 rasgulla thinking Krishna's mercy, that's not Krishna's mercy. Isn't it? That means the senses become even more uncontrolled. So therefore, if we want to serve Krishna, we serve with sincerity, then what happens? Senses become purified and pure senses are satisfied with Krishna. They don't want anything else. Anything else becomes extra, a burden. Okay. So if you want to develop focus, the art of overcoming distraction in any field is actually to address the agitators, kill or shoot those agitators called as lust, anger, greed. And you shoot them daily by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. That's how you shoot them. So more, to the degree your lust, anger, greed has reduced, to that degree your mind is controlled. Not just gross lust, also subtle lust, pride, name and fame, greed also, anger also. Anger means you're angry towards another devotee. Bola tha aise mat karo. You put too much salt in the sabji, so you're angry towards him. Yeah, that is also not good. Violence. So more our mind is purified, more the mind can sit down peacefully. Open Bhagavatam, open Bhagavad Gita, study 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours. More the mind is not purified from lust, anger, greed. You open one page, you are thinking, am I doing the right thing? My parents sent me to study Bhagavad Gita. What about my job? People become very insecure because the mind is not pure yet. So when Krishna says the mind wanders and you have to bring it back, this happens till the mind is impure. A pure mind doesn't go anywhere. With a pure mind, why 1 round, 2 rounds, 16 rounds? You can chant 192 rounds. Haridas Thakur used to chant daily 192 rounds. Unimaginable. And he used to do it daily, not once in a while. Because the mind is so pure. So for us, we reduce by how much? 16? 8 zar, right? 182? No, 12 zar. Yeah, 16 12. So we divide by 2. We're going to chant 16 rounds. Because our mind is not that pure. In that 16 round also, our after you complete 16 round, we look as if you have fought a big war and come. So a huge battle. Of course, when you try to focus, if you don't try to focus, just casually chant, that's very easy. Yeah, walking chanting, traveling chanting, subway chanting, kirtan chanting. In kirtan, you just sit. Kirtan, there's loudly singing with instruments, and you're just sitting chanting. You can hardly hear your own mantra. And there are many driving chanting, very dangerous. Generally, people while chanting, they fall asleep. And you fall asleep while driving, you're finished. Yeah, like that. So chanting has to be done sitting in one place with utmost focus before eating. Don't chant after eating. You can there is no hard and fast rule. Benefit is still there. But in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it said yoga will not be done after eating. Because after eating, whether physical asanas or any type of yoga practice, and you cannot do chanting, you cannot focus after that. So chanting has to be done with back erect. With very good. With back erect, with light stomach, with light head, and you have got good night rest, and you're able to sit in one place and chant your rounds. Can be 10 minutes, 20 minutes. In India, we used to do 64 rounds on a very auspicious days like Ekadashi. Straight one shot, 8 hours sitting. Yeah. And we should try and see how it feels like. Because we have never tried, we feel it's like very difficult. It's not very difficult. That's very difficult, it's impossible for me. That's only a mental block. It's not impossible. In the US, there are Grihastha devotees. On the appearance day of Haridas Thakur, who used to chant 192 rounds, in his memory, they chant 192 rounds. Grihasthas, they have a job, they have a family to take care. The husband and wife, they sit and chant 192 rounds. From one midnight to other midnight, 24 hours. Of course, in between they get up and they might take rest also. But continuous chanting, nothing else. Whole day fasting. I'm just saying, not impossible. It is possible, but the chanting is to be done is with focus, not for the sake of it, not to get the rounds done or the number. It's not a number game. So how many rounds? 16, 17. Not like that. It's not a competition. It has to be done with quality. Okay. Prashantamanasam yenam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti shantarajasam brahmabhutam akalmasham. Okay, next. Can someone read quickly? Who has the mic? Okay, Gaurav. Yeah, Gaurav can read.
The yogi whose mind is fixed on me rarely attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. He is beyond the mode of passion. He realizes his qualitative identity with the Supreme, and thus he is freed from all reactions to past deeds.
So Krishna is saying, more we establish Krishna in our mind, more the mind becomes purified. Where is it? Yeah, more the yogi whose mind is fixed on me means Krishna is there in yogi's mind. For example, for the gopis are cursing. They are actually regretting. Just see, for us, we want to forget Krishna, but we are not able to forget. That means Krishna is firmly established in the minds of the gopis. Isn't it? Our problem is opposite. We want to remember Krishna, but somehow it doesn't. We cannot remember him. We will remember everything else but Krishna, isn't it? That means Krishna is not established. So when we chant Hare Krishna, when we are engaged in Krishna service, come together in association of devotees and hear like this, long hearing. Not today. The style is what 25-minute hearing, isn't it? Katha means 25 minutes. Now you see, in India, you have any festival, Krishna Janmashtami. Lecture will be 2 hours. In many temples in India, it's a Shravanam Utsav, entire Janmashtami. So they start from 8 a.m. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. one devotee will give katha. Between kirtan, 1 hour. Then 11 to 1 hour kirtan. And then 3, 11 to 1 to 2, then 2 to 4, another devotee will give katha. 2 to hour like that. They hear whole day, they are hearing only. But Janmashtami was only fasting. And fasting, seva, hearing Krishna katha, engaging in kirtan. That's all. So when you do this prolonged practice of Krishna consciousness, you get a taste for it. Then you can establish Krishna in the mind. As of now, Krishna is not established. Why? Because here no one can sit to hear. You see in our Sunday feast program, when they speak, by the time he starts speaking, his time is done. He has like 20 minutes to speak. Very pathetic. In India, it's not like that. In India, Sunday feast speakers, they speak for 1.5 hours. And that is the main aspect of Sunday feast, not the feast. That is the real feast, the hearing. We have to develop, of course, those people who come for Gita, we also have some habit of prolonged hearing. But generally, we have to cultivate that tendency to sit and hear for prolonged hours. 1 hour, 2 hours. My spiritual master, his own is Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he is expert in speaking long hours. Once he spoke about another devotee, because that devotee passed away, his own is Bhakti Swami had left this world. So he spoke about him for 5.5 hours. Straight on asan. And when he is speaking, you cannot say Prasad dena hai. Everyone is sitting and they will think normal Sunday feast. That means 1 hour, 1.5. Okay, now 1.5 is done. Maybe in 5 minutes, Maharaj is going to end. First, Maharaj spoke for straight 5.5 hours. And another time and for him 3.5, 4 hours is like normal. Of course, he is also such a speaker that people don't mind. Isn't it? But the whole point is, in India, generally this habit is there. Sit and hear about Krishna, hear Siddhanta for long hours with focus. Mobile is not allowed. They'll say you have to turn off your mobile. Otherwise, we'll take shelter of the mobile instead of Krishna. You hear about Krishna and keep hearing Siddhanta, think about it, make notes, ask questions. So this, when we do for prolonged period of time, Krishna becomes established in the mind. Then when you get out of the class, you have a hangover. Only Krishna is going on in your mind, isn't it? But you only hear 20 minutes Krishna. Then when you go into Maya in the material world, that full-fledged, isn't it? Long hours, Maya. Movie hota hai 2 घंटे का. Bollywood also, no, same style, 2.5 hour movie, 2 hour movie. Isn't it? And people will watch that. So they get hangover of that one. Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, But we want to have Krishna as the hangover. You should be thinking, wow, Krishna in Vrindavan, Krishna's parents, wow, that drasa, this drasa, Siddhanta. This should be our in the mind. So the yogi whose mind is fixed on me, such a person very easily attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. He is beyond the mode of passion, he realizes qualitative identity with the Supreme, and thus he is freed from all reaction to past deeds. Just by hearing Krishna Katha, Shinvatam Swakatah Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridyantasto hi abhadrani. When we keep hearing about Krishna, what happens? Krishna becomes established in the mind, in the heart, and Krishna removes the dust. We're talking about the agitators. How to remove these agitators? Krishna will remove them. You just have to hear about him. And Bhagavatam says this, Shinvatam Swakatah Krishna. Don't sleep. Don't get distracted. But hear. Hear about Krishna, and more we hear, then Krishna removes all the abhadrani in the heart, inauspicious elements of inauspiciousness. Hridyantasto hi abhadrani vidunoti suhrit satam. And he cleans the heart. Vidunoti means he cleans the heart, cleanses the heart. And after that comes the nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. And therefore you have to hear Bhagavatam daily. Bhagavatam means that which is connected to Bhagavan, Krishna. Hear about Krishna daily. Nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Naishtiki means nishtha. Nishtha means fixed. So when we keep hearing like this, now we do daily, weekly. We have to be doing daily hearing. What happens? Krishna becomes established in the heart. That is called Naishtiki. Naishtiki Bhakti. That means nothing can break your faith in Krishna. Of course, out of sentiment, we can say, yeah, nothing will break my faith. Dare make such a statement. Krishna will challenge you. Okay, go to the next one. It's very small purport. Who was reading? Gaurav, can you quickly read? Purport. Very small.
Brahma Bhuta is the state of
Yeah.
being free from material contamination and situated in the transcendental service of the Lord. Mad Bhaktim
Labade
Labate.
Param.
One cannot remain in the quality of Brahman, the Absolute, until one's mind is fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord. Say Mana Krishna.
Padaravindayoho.
To be always engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, or to remain in Krishna consciousness, is the from the mode of passion.
Is to be factually. That means till the time we are engaged in Krishna service, we are not on material plane. We are on a transcendental plane. We are spiritual, completely pure, practicing pure devotional service. When you are chanting Hare Krishna, attentively hearing the holy name, that is complete on a spiritual platform. It's not material anymore. But once you stop your japa, put the bead bag aside, then again you welcome to material world. Isn't it? When you're in the temple, it's a spiritual world. As soon as you exit the temple, New York City. You might say spiritual world temple is in New York City. Though it's in New York City, it's out of New York City. It's on a spiritual platform. So if you want to be on a spiritual platform, unaffected by the material modes of nature, by the material contamination, what should you do? Sorry? Just be engaged in loving service to Krishna. Wherever you are, you can always chant. Wherever you are, you can offer something to Krishna, serve Krishna, hear about Krishna, share Krishna with others. More we are engaged in such services, more we are on a spiritual platform. More we don't, more we're in materialness. Yeah. So maybe 628. Let's just do the verses. 630, 31, 32, 33, 34. 32, right? We'll just do the verses till 32. We'll just read this thing. And Prasadam is saved, so no need to worry. Yunjan evan sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukham ashrute. Yeah, so beautiful, huh? Yogi vigata kalmashaha. Vigata means to be freed. Sukhena, he experiences great happiness as he is freed from what is the dirt in the heart. Brahma samsparsham, that means more he is in touch with Krishna. He experiences happiness on account of heart being purified. And how much sukham? Atyantam sukham. Ashnute. See, freed from sukhena, Brahma samsparsham, atyantam sukham ashnute. He attains, atyantam is the highest happiness. Okay, next.
Thus, the self control yogi, intently engaged in yoga practice, becomes free from all material contamination and achieves the highest stage of perfect happiness in transcendental loving service to the Lord.
Yeah. So by doing this, what we are discussing till now, controlling the mind, focusing the mind on Krishna, establishing Krishna in one's mind and heart, he attains perfection. And on that stage of highest perfection, he experiences unending, the highest form of happiness, and he is freed from all impurities in the heart. And Prabhupada says, what is self-realization? Self-realization means knowing one's constitutional position in relationship to the Supreme. In understanding my connection with God is called a self-realization. What is our position with respect to God? Anyone knows? That means we are not self-realized. Yeah, we are a servant of God. And not only of God, of his servants also. A servant of the servants of God. Isn't it? So more we realize that fact, more we are self-realized. We have understood who we truly are. Okay, next. Sarvabhutasthamaatmanam. Can you open the door? Sarvabhutani chatmani. Ikshate yogayuktatma. Sarvatra samadarshanaha. Praveen Prabhu.
Yes. A true yogi observes me in all beings and also sees every being in me. Indeed, the self realized person sees me, the same Supreme Lord, everywhere.
This is the stage of perfection. A pure devotee of the Lord can see Krishna everywhere. That means not only in good situations. My bonus, I got bonus in company. That means Krishna's mercy. They decline my bonus. That means Krishna is not happy with me. No. They decline my happiness, Krishna's mercy. They gave me bonus, Krishna's mercy. I lost my job, Krishna's mercy. I got a job, Krishna's mercy. Not easy as it's said. I'm going back to India, Krishna's mercy. I got a green card, also Krishna's mercy. That means a pure devotee can see Krishna in all situations, everywhere. Prahlad saw Narasimha where? Yeah. He saw his Supreme Lord in the pillar. Hiranyakashipu said, what about this pillar? He said, my Lord is there also. What about that pillar? He is there also. What about that pillar? He is there also. Prahlad is able to see Krishna everywhere, and Hiranyakashipu is not able to see Krishna anywhere. Isn't it? And then he just chose one pillar, and Narasimha was there. And why Narasimha appeared there? Because Satyam Vidatum Nijabitya Bhashitam. His servant said, my Lord is there. That means he cannot let the words of Prahlad go wrong. So Narasimha had to appear there. Isn't it? Yeah, Ishva Sarabhutanam Hriddeshi Arjun Tishtati. That means Prabhupada is saying Krishna is present in every atom. You call what? Some van der Waals force, covalent bonding, isn't it? Those of you remember some chemistry. How the atoms are together. Krishna says, I am the one holding the atoms together. You may say centripetal force, centrifugal force, or gravitational pull, keeping the orbits on its the planet on its orbit. Krishna says, Gama Vishchabhutani Dharayami Ahamojasa. I enter into each planet and hold the planet in its orbit. You may call gravitational pull, but Krishna says, I am the one. So the scientist is asking, where is God? We only see gravitational pull. We say that gravitational pull is Krishna only. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter, 15th chapter, Gam avishyacha bhutani dharayami ahamodasa. I hold the planet. And my one eye is the sun, through which plants grow. Other eye is the moon, which puts juices in the fruits and vegetables. Isn't it? Where is God? He's a source. Isn't it? Yeah, so Krishna is present everywhere. And he's also present in the heart of all the living entities. And living entities are everywhere. So Krishna is also everywhere. Yeah. So Prabhupada is saying how Krishna is pervading the entire universe in the form of Paramatma. Matstani. There's one. What is 9.4? The Jagat Avyakta Murtina. Krishna says, I pervade this entire universe in my impersonal form. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, we'll go next one. Yo mam pashyati. This is also very important verse. See, very important verses are coming. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra. Sarvam chamai pashyati. Tasyaham na panishyami. Sachame na pranashyati. Krishna is saying those people, those devotees who see me everywhere, sarvam cha mai pashyati. I am there. Sarvam cha mai pashyati. Yeah, for one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me. Yeah. Sarvatra cha mai pashyati. Yeah. Those who see me everywhere and see everything in me. Tasyaham na pranashyami. For him, I am never lost, nor is he or she lost to me. This is a very intimate relationship between Krishna and his devotee, isn't it? Because the devotee sees Krishna everywhere and understands everything is in Krishna. Krishna says, for such a devotee, I am never lost to him. He might go into a forlorn desert, I'll be there. When Prabhupada came all alone, the Jaladuta ship to New York City, and he was alone in the Tompkins Square Park with his bongo drum chanting Hare Krishna alone. No kartal players, no mic stand, nothing. No Kirtan Mandali. He is alone chanting Hare Krishna for 2 to 3 to 4 hours daily. Alone. But was he alone? No. He never felt he was alone. We see that he is alone because we cannot see Krishna. But a pure devotee is experiencing Krishna at every moment. Yeah. Babu, can you read?
For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I'm never lost, nor is he ever lost to me.
Very important purport. You can just read here. Nothing is. Maybe just quickly read.
Yeah. A person in Krishna consciousness certainly sees Lord Krishna everywhere and he sees everything in Krishna. Such a person may appear to see all separate manifestation of material nature, but in each and every instances he is conscious of Krishna. Knowing that everything is a manifestation of Krishna's energy, nothing can exist without Krishna, and Krishna is the Lord of everything. He is the basic principle of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the development of love of Krishna, a position transcendental even to material. At this stage of Krishna consciousness, beyond self-realization, the devotee becomes one with Krishna in the sense that Krishna becomes everything for the devotee, and the devotee becomes full in loving Krishna. An intimate relationship between the Lord and the devotees then exists. In that stage, the living entity can never be annihilated. Personality of Godhead ever out of the sight of the devotee. To the merge in
Okay, sufficient. And Prabhupada quotes Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena. How to develop that vision to see Krishna everywhere? By developing love for Krishna. That means Prabhupada says you have to put an ointment of love. Because say the glasses it has red tint. How will everything look to me? If it has a green tint, how will things look to me? If it has a yellow tint, if it has a Krishna tint, I can see Krishna everywhere. Isn't it? So Prabhupada says you have to put the salve of love on your eyes. Develop love for God. Then you can see Krishna everywhere. Prema Anjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadeva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achinte Gunaswarup Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship the primeval Lord Govinda, who is always seen by the devotee, whose eyes are anointed with the pulp of love. He is seen in his eternal form of Shamasundar, situated within the heart of the devotee. At this stage, Lord Krishna never disappears from the sight of the devotee, nor does the devotee ever lose sight of the Lord. In the case of a yogi who sees the Lord as Paramatma within the heart, the same applies. Such a yogi turns into a pure devotee and cannot bear to live for a moment without seeing the Lord within himself. सर्वभूतस्थितं यो मां भजति एकत्वमास्थितः सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि स योगी मयि वर्तते. Such yogi who engages in the worshipful service of the super soul, knowing that I and soul are one, remains always in me in all circumstances. Okay? And last one of the section. Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati Arjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham sa yogi paramo matah. He is the perfect yogi who, by comparison to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings in both their happiness and their distress, O Arjuna. He is the perfect yogi who, by comparison to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings in both their happiness and their distress. So, one who is Krishna conscious is a perfect yogi. He is aware of everyone's happiness and distress by dint of his own personal experience. The cause of distress of a living entity is forgetfulness of God, and the cause of happiness is knowing Krishna to be supreme enjoyer of all activity of a human being, the proprietor of all lands and planets, and sincerest friend of all living entities. The perfect yogi knows the living being who is conditioned by the modes of nature, subject to threefold miseries due to his forgetfulness, relationship of Krishna, with Krishna. And because one is Krishna conscious, one in Krishna consciousness is happy, he tries to distribute the knowledge everywhere. That means at the perfection stage of being a yogi or a pure devotee, at that time one feels compassion. I have Krishna, but people don't have Krishna. So they are ready to make sacrifice to share Krishna with others. And Prabhupada says here, Nachatasman Manasheshu Kashchin Me Kritmaha. In 1869, Prabhupada says in the Bhagavad Gita, those devotees are most dear to me who share this message of the Gita with others. And this Krishna is saying this is at the height of perfection of being a yogi or being a pure devotee. That one wants to share Krishna with others. See, he doesn't envy other fellow living entities. Kya itna kya prasad khata hai? He doesn't feel like that. Or prasad. Take more prasad. Leave other things which is not prasad. Take nice prasad. Here is a contrast between the pure devotee of the Lord and yogi interest only in personal. Okay, so next time we will. Now Arjuna speaks, because till now Krishna was speaking about control the mind, focus, sit straight, this and that. So now Arjuna shares his difficulties in practicing dhyana yoga. Then after this, 6th chapter comes bhakti yoga. Then Krishna finally tells Arjuna, Arjuna, for you the best is bhakti yoga, because bhakti yoga is the best yoga practice. So don't worry about Ashtanga. I just gave it to you because you were, I'm presenting all yoga system. I may present dhyana yoga also. But the highest is bhakti yoga, that we'll see later. Okay. So thank you very much. 8:30. Prabhu is very happy. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. Actually, because all these principles, it's easy to speak, but while speaking, I'm reminding myself what all to follow. Thank you for patiently sitting and hearing. Today we started on dot time, 7 to 8:30, 1.5 hours solid hearing. So thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Sri Prabhupada ki. Thank you all the online devotees for joining.
Prabhu, I have a question.
Okay. I'll come to your question. Just one announcement. Just one announcement. We have this Gita in a nutshell course. So those of you who have not done Gita in a nutshell course, I know from here who have done, have not done. So who have not done, kindly please register. You can reach out to Sachin Prabhu. Yeah, you can reach out to Sachin Prabhu and he can register you to the course. We postponed people to join. We got more registrations from Chicago and other places. So I was thinking our people have to join first. So we postponed it. So please try to join this course, because it gives the basics of spirituality, Gita in a nutshell course, and without which whatever I'm speaking, it looks like you can understand, but not really. We cannot even get the head and tail of what we're speaking. So that's the fundamental course called as Gita in a nutshell. Oh, and it's certified course. You get a certificate from ISKCON New York City. So please do register. Sorry. Oh yeah, and when you attend, at the end of every session, there will be a quiz at the end, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes quiz. because certificate देंगे ऐसे थोड़ी देंगे. Not any certificate. We will actually mark, so no one can be cooking and hearing, sleeping and hearing, because सबका video off ही रहता है. For me, it's very difficult. I have to speak to blank screen. So then I'm also putting challenge other side. Like Vyasdev, he said, Ganesh, you write. And Ganesh said, "ठीक है, but then you have to, whatever you're speaking, you have to realize and speak." And then he said, "Okay, but when you're writing, you have to realize and write." Condition both the side. So please do register. Our Sachin Prabhu is here. You can reach out to him. When you can take prasadam, Prabhu will come to you and register yourself. Register you. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. We could not chant today because it's late. So next time we'll chant. Okay. Hare Krishna. Yes, Archita, Mataji. Yes, sir.
You earlier in the class said that listening to Paramatma